Trump is effed. He's effed. The people around him are effed. And the Republicans, they're effed. There's no way out of this. And every day it gets worse and worse and worse. And all I can sit and do is wonder how on earth people think Trump is still going to be in there by 2028. I mean, his physical body's breaking down. His brain is breaking down. You know, he put up that sign, or someone did the Oval Office, like that gold printing that looked like Mar-a-Lago, and it's right outside the office. It's this picture here. And I know people are like, oh, he's so tacky. So I think that's so he knows where to go. I don't think that that's for aesthetics. I think that's straight up like, oh, I'm going here. Oh, yeah, got it. You know, after watching him in Japan just bump around in that ballroom, you know, he's not all there, you know, just standing there while someone's just fallen to the ground and everybody's on top of him helping him. He's just, that alone, how does he last to 2028? But watching him melt down right now, I mean, he's had so many narcissistic wounds ever since, well, when he lost the election, but like from then on, it really started with Elon in that fight. And then they've just kind of stacked up to where now he's just cornered from everybody. And the people around him are just getting worse and worse reputations and the way that they're viewed, even by their own people. Even Russ Vogt is getting a ton of shit on social media. Stephen Miller, they don't like any of them. Pete Hegseth, they don't like him. I mean, the only ones that are still sticking by him are the tried and true, will drink the Kool-Aid if that were ever a thing. They would want to go with them. That's how those people, you're going to always have that small group like that. But a lot of people are not feeling that. And Trump is now feeling attacked by the Supreme Court. We just had a judge step down that was a Reagan-era appointee who said, I'm stepping down because I don't want to be muzzled. Like, this guy's a liar, and this is a for favor presidency. It's corrupt, and I have to be able to speak out on that. And now Trump wants to die on the hill of snap, of all the hills. I just think the shutdown is like another narcissistic wound. Like, he thought, I'm going to do it my way. We're not going to talk to you. We're going to shun you, and you're just going to have to bend the knee. And we didn't bend the knee. And now the Democrats have all this power, especially after the elections. And they went to them and said, hey, we'll do this. Let's just extend those tax credits for the ACA for a year. No. And now he's pissed that the judges are saying, no, you have to pay the SNAP. Like, you have to do that. And now he's coming out saying, no state better pay that. I want the money back. Don't give anybody, like, that's the hill. Because lots of times authoritarians, they want to still look like do-gooders, because there has to be a point for what you're doing. Like, if you ask people to suffer this much, but nothing's coming to fruition, and you let them starve, and now you're saying, like, and if you got some, you better give it back. He is literally effing himself in the face, which I'm here for. But like, how again does he stay in there to 2028? And I know people are going to say the 25th Amendment, but JD would have to be on with that. And literally all Trump would have to do is write a letter that says, no, actually, I'm fine. Then it's done. So I don't really think that's on the table. And I know people want to say, well, the military are going to have to step in. That would be a military coup. You don't want that, because you no longer have the United States. You have whatever. Plus, you don't actually know who the guys are that are doing that. Like, we just assume, like, oh, it'd be our side doing that. We don't know. You don't want to go down there, down that path. I think people think, well, sooner or later, the military, no. That's if he tries to stay in there again. If he tries to get in that bunker and lock himself in, well, then they'll go in and get him out. But there's so much happening. Like, JD's not in good favor. RFK is now in big trouble because they are pissed about the Ozempic thing. Like, Maha was kind of a staple that was sticking in there because they don't really like Trump so much, but they're all about the seed oils and the coloring and the dyes. And like, we should be like Europe like this, although we don't want universal health care. But there's all these things that they think is in our food that makes us sick, which is probably true. And at the same time, like, RFK was never going to do anything about that. Like, autism and Tylenol or circumcision. Okay, just so we're clear, I have autism. I did not get vaccinated as a child. My parents were anti-vaxxers. My mother did not take Tylenol because my dad was a chiropractor, so you took herbs or you got adjusted. Also didn't have a circumcision. Still have autism. So they didn't get an answer to that. Like, all of the things that they were promised are falling apart. And the fact that this deal with Pfizer and Ozempic, and we're all going to lose 150 billion pounds by midterms, which would be 500 pounds each. So I'm going to be looking very thin soon, and so are you. You're going to look like a skeleton and not be alive. Anyway, that's just silly. Also, our kids are going to be very thin. But that just figures, like, they want everyone looking good in America. Can't have chubby ICE agents, can't have chubby Americans. So Ozempic for everybody, even though we said it was very bad for you. Like, it's just... So Maha's pissed. I would post more screenshots, but I'm actually getting copyright violations now, because apparently screenshots are copyright violation if they come from X. Anyway, so yeah, Maha is now being called Ma, ha 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 ha, as in joke was on you. So that's falling apart. So who do they like? You know, I think ICE is going to start having a lot more pushback, because people on the right didn't like that. There was people that voted against or voted in the elections blue because they don't like what ICE is doing. You saw that they lost a lot of the minority vote because of what ICE is doing in these deportations. So all of it's going to get less and less popular. You have so much infighting over there. You can, if you aren't on X and all these different places that they are, the fighting is at an all-time high. And I know because I've been monitoring it from the very beginning. But now it's kind of like MAGA on MAGA crime, or formerly MAGA as of recently. And then all the Israel stuff. The Israel stuff alone will shut down. They will not win, because people on the right have removed themselves from voting, period, because they think that they're all the same. It's all run by Israel. And that happened because of Charlie Kirk's death. Candace opened up that can of worms, said it's Israel, it's Trump, all this stuff. And so lost a whole bunch of people, that, and because of Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes. And it's finally hitting that, like, critical mass. But we're only, like, 10 months out or something? So how do we get to 2028? I can't get there. I just can't, because Trump is in so much trouble so fast. And I knew they were going way too fast. But I think they were going too fast because, one, they weren't going to be offering anything. There was going to be nothing delivered, right? Like Trump said, like he's trying to throw out, like, we have to have the tariffs or we'll be going into wars, and Americans will be going into wars. Also, while he's trying to go to war with Venezuela, which we don't even really sure why, except for maybe oil or a bunch of BS. He's giving money to Argentina, which was to pay his rich buddies back who bet big on the Argentine economy. And the bond market was crashing, so that's what that money was for, to pay his bros back. And then he just said, "Oh, we're going to add 20 trillion into into the economy, like next year or something. Our GDP is 29 billion or trillion or whatever." So nothing good is being delivered. All the bad is happening publicly. And again, you're going to get that small group that cannot hear, will not hear. They're locked in, at least for now. But we are only so many months out. So I'm just trying to figure out, other than Hitler's path, or making a run for it, or just dying literally on that hill, I have no idea where they can go. They are so cornered. As I said, they are fucked. Okay, I want to add one more thing. If people want to say, well, they'll just keep him away from the cameras and they'll just keep him away from the public. You can't keep Trump away from the public, because they would know something's wrong, because he is such a front-facing politician or whatever, con man. Like, he has to be in front of the cameras. And the day that he stops being there consistently, people would think something's wrong, or that there's been an internal coup. So that isn't an option either, because he has to be in front of those cameras and those microphones. So again, effing himself in the face.